Investing is for lazy people, in my view. And I say that as an investor because now I'm making this transition now. I've been in the business for 12 years. The first 6 years, I was an operator. My second phase, I thought I could outsource execution and be a big boy. So I started writing checks and man, founder showed me shaggy. I'm not investing if it's not directly related to what I care about. What do I care about? I just want to make sure every African can get a job that pays them $10,000 a year. It's not difficult.
The question then is for the investor who's lazy, like you said, who's like, but I still want to be able to deploy cash. What are you supposed to be looking for?
3 things, right? First of all,
Iyinoluwa Aboyeji helped create 2 of Africa's most important technology companies. Today, Iyin is building a different kind of future. Through Future Africa, through Learn to Earn. Through a belief that Africa's greatest resources isn't capital, it's people.
You get rich in one of 3 ways. 1, by producing the cheapest product. 2, by selling the most expensive product. And 3, by the government forcing everybody to buy from you. Every billionaire fits one of the 3. Every trillionaire fits one. Elon is even all 3. And so what that means for me is, how do you build a workforce of people from Africa who are able to leverage AI to be the most productive human beings in the world, and at a cost basis that makes whatever Elon Musk or Meta or Anthropic or whatever is building look like an expensive toy.
You've paid full price for everything. What's the most expensive lesson on that list that someone climbing right now can have for free?
Honestly,
quick one. Before we jump into the Afropolitan podcast, I have a problem. So my issue is that 72% of you are not subscribed to the Afropolitan podcast. So I need you to click the subscribe button so you can join the Afropolitan family. Now we can jump back to it. Welcome back.
Thank you.
So someone may click your specific video.
Yes.
They may be winding down from a long day, working out, maybe on the way to work. So the first thing I want you to tell our audience is, what are you building right now and why is it important?
That's an incredible question. Well, I mean, right now, I think that as a race, we need to start rethinking how and what we build. And for me, and the length of time in which we build, because I feel like there are 2 visions of the world, right?
Okay.
On the one hand, there's a vision of the world where I'm picking my words.
Don't pick your words.
I have to. There's a vision of events where there are people who are building to essentially eradicate our species.
Yeah.
And when I say our species, I mean the human race. And their view of the world is a view where human beings are subjugated to machines that they control. Right? I'm building the alternative view of the world, where every human being has more power than the most powerful institutions in the world, which are today controlled by a particular set of people. Now, I'm building this on a shoestring budget from Lagos, Nigeria, and with the other side, more incredibly resourced than anybody can imagine. But I'm building it all the same because God is with me. And so what that means for me is today, the first step is really, how do you build a workforce of people from Africa primarily, because we have that people advantage, who are able to leverage AI to be the most productive human beings in the world, and at a cost basis that makes whatever Elon Musk or Meta or Anthropic or whatever is building look like an expensive toy. Because at the end of the day, value is really what will drive enterprise adoption of AI. And human beings in Africa, I always say, a wheelbarrow in the US and a wheelbarrow in Nigeria are the same wheelbarrow, right? The difference is who's pushing it. In the US, you've got a 3 million, 7 million, 100 million, depending on who you ask, engineer pushing the wheelbarrow of AI. In Nigeria, if I can give somebody in Nigeria that knowledge for $10,000, I completely change the economics of who creates value, what creates value, and how value is attributed and created. Because guess what? The greed of the rest of the world means that they would gravitate to whatever is cheapest. The West vision is we subsidize. Our version is we build. And we build it with fantastic economics.
Is there a reason? I mean, China has basically taken on that role for now, right?
In manufacturing.
In manufacturing,
Yes.
but also
but
in
it's all
terms of
state subsidized.
yes, and open source
Yes.
AI models as well. Is that similar to, and also just for our viewers, because you know, when we start talking about these things, I realize some people, either because they don't necessarily know the history or maybe they don't read up as much, don't understand where the world is in this AI race, right? We know about Claude, we know about ChatGPT, we know about Meta, etc.
Yeah.
What do you believe like China's role is in this other side of things, which is like you said, in subsidizing some of this value so that the rest of the world can actually get to compete?
Okay. So you have to look at the world. There are three visions of how society organizes value, right? In China, the primary protagonist is the state. The state is the collective will of the people. So the state subsidizes industrial, power, right? In the US, it's corporations. Yeah. America is a country that was built by corporations. And in fact, I would argue in most of the Western world, Nigeria, for example, was colonized by corporate charter.
Yes.
Royal Niger Company. It wasn't, this is a company. That's why it operates like an extractive machine. But you know what? For us in Africa, it's people. People are what drive all the value. Yeah. When you look at trade, you look at culture, you look at, people, human beings, talent, they're the ones that drive all the value. Now, what is happening in China, when you look at what China has done over the last 50, 70 years, is that the state has deliberately built a society that is optimally productive, but only as a collective. There's no have you ever heard of a Chinese creative that is global?
No.
You ever heard of the Bonner Boy of China?
No. None of that.
Good. There's a reason for it, right? For a country with over 1 billion people, there should be at least one star.
That's global.
The only guy who came close to it was Jack Ma, and they dumped him in jail.
Yeah, it's true. Korea even has more stars than actual China. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So you know that it's just not in their culture to create stars. Everybody, there's one star. He's the president.
He's the shining tool
of the Chinese Communist Party. Anybody else is a problem. Well, versus and we go to the US. I mean, what you have are corporations that are embodied by a single individual. Rockefeller, it's a corporation. Standard Oil, embodied by a single individual. Elon, corporation, embodied by a single individual. Microsoft. You understand? So they recognize that people like the individual, but the corporation and the shareholders are more important. When you come to Africa, everybody's a star, whether it's true or not. So these three different visions of how to create value are competing now in the global marketplace. And I continue to think that because of where technology has gotten to and the amount of technology that supports the sovereign individual, and because of the kind of training we have, because we don't have states with capacity for control, neither do we have corporations that are beyond the extension. They're not corporations of shareholders. They're really corporations of single individuals that control and drive an interest. So we need to now create, when we talk about one-person billion-dollar companies, the honest truth, the only place where that's really possible culturally is in Africa.
Wait, I have some thoughts. So this is so interesting you said that. And I have two layers where I want to go with this question. I'm going to give you some context.
Tell me.
So what I hope people who watch this episode, I really hope more African Americans watch this episode. As of this time, I don't know when this episode is going to air, but as of this time, there is huge diaspora wars right now because of what David said on a podcast. I'm not going to go into what he said. He has apologized. But there's this huge diaspora wars happening between African Americans and Africans for different reasons, right? Mm-hmm. And the one thing I keep saying is, number one, I don't know why we're fighting, because we literally don't have the leverage. We don't have the leverage, or economic leverage. But number two, interestingly, in the US, there's around 700,000 Black women who have been laid off or left corporate. Mm-hmm. And so I've been writing about solopreneurs, right? And I keep saying, I envision more of us will be solopreneurs. We're going to be buying from each other. That's the economy. So do you feel like Africa could create an economy like that? And even further, if more solopreneurs happen for Black Americans in the US, could that be its own economy?
So I want you to think beyond an economy. Okay. And I'll explain why. This concept that you get rich by buying and selling to yourselves, it's like fiction. Okay? You get rich in one of three ways. One, by producing the cheapest product. Because everybody wants to buy from you. Two, by selling the most expensive product. Because everybody with the money wants to buy from you. It's a status symbol. And three, by the government forcing everybody to buy from you. Every billionaire fits one of the three.
Monopoly.
Every trillionaire fits one. Elon is even all three.
True.
Government revenue.
Yeah.
Because who's going to launch the space rocket?
Yeah.
Him. Cheapest EV, cheapest rockets.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the most expensive stock in the world.
Yeah.
I say Elon is a product to rich people. He's supposed to defraud you. I have no concern. I mean, if you're a poor person buying Elon stock, like, you're very special. Because you clearly don't know what you should be doing with money. So the truth is, this idea that solopreneurship, Black people, kumbaya, we're going to grow to be the vast majority of the world's population. But as of right this moment, you're just 12% of the US economy, and you don't have the economic base to sell to yourself. You know, there's a saying I've now adopted. Pastor Podju was the one who said, he said that that the best advice he's ever gotten. He said, 2 poor men cannot help each other. That is the law. I've now adopted it because it's a fact. You know, you're poor, you're laid off. She's poor, she's laid off. You're not going to be able to sell to each other. That is just the law. So the question you need to be asking yourself is, using all these tools, how can I sell the cheapest product? How can I sell the most expensive status product? Or how can I leverage or get government to force everybody else to buy my stuff? Period. Now, the factors of the production is, the core factor of production today is intelligence. Right? It's intelligence. That's it. Like, at the end of the day, you can get agents to do your marketing, your website, what else? Posting on social media. What else? And
editing
you sell,
videos,
it can type for you.
It can type for you.
It can create audio for you.
And China will handle the manufacturing. Yeah. So you don't need to get involved, right? You just order, rebrand, sell. What else do you need?
Yeah.
What else? What else you need? You need someone count money. What are you?
Accounting.
So your job is just, how do I sell the cheapest product for the most money that I can get away with? And then if you're lucky and you have the connections, get government to force everybody to buy it. Period.
So I was watching Alhaji Dangote's interview with the Norwegian.
Yes, that was an incredible
guys,
interview.
right?
Yeah.
And when I was watching it, I remember saying, I want to talk to Iyin and get his perspective on this interview, because it feels like Alhaji has gone through an awakening,
process, yeah.
right? And one of the things he said, I think they asked him a question about legacy and what is he really doing this for? And I think maybe at some point, Dangote got like pissed off at why are we in this situation as Black people? Like, what do you mean I can't do this or I can't do? And then now he's in a building phase. And so the question I'm actually getting to is whether it's Elon or Dangote, when people have these arguments as to where is the company this value this high, or is it of value, or is it of this? I was explaining to somebody that I'm getting to the point where I want my money to have a particular worldview, which is there's a fact that I saw a rocket coming down from the sky and 2 chopsticks caught it. That's a fact. It's not beans. I've driven a Tesla. I've seen him do all these other things. So if he comes to say to me, we're going to Mars, I'm going to back the person that I've seen catch a rocket. It's just a fact. Like, what are we talking about here? Then the same thing with Dangote. It's like, look, we know how hard it is to build a refinery. You've built the world's largest single train refinery. Absolutely. This is a fact. 700,000 barrels produced per day. So if you're saying you're going to IPO, I'm going to give you my money. I think the question I'm asking is, how do we reframe people's mindsets where it's not that somebody is saying, come and give me money, let me go and create straws. I know that straws are not important, but somebody is saying, give me this money so I can go and build. And I think I was reading a Bloomberg article where he's saying we're getting back to the phase in life where folks would buy stocks for the companies to then go invest it to then build the future. So whether it was the railroads back in the day, right? So what does that look like when you have that mindset, because you're an investor as well? How do you evaluate some of these opportunities, whether it's Elon's SpaceX IPO or Dangote's upcoming IPO?
You know, the question I always ask, I have a radical view.
Yeah, please.
The question is, like, who did they give their money to?
Oh, them, when they were...
Yeah. No, even now. Like, I've never heard of Elon really investing in anything.
It's true. It's true.
And I know Alaji doesn't really invest.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not investing in all those things because I just want to invest in myself.
True.
So I would just rather keep my money and then build something because investing is for lazy people, in my view. And I say that as an investor because now I'm making this transition now.
Yeah.
I feel like, look, I've been in the business for 12 years. The first 6 years, I was an operator. So I built businesses with supervision. Let's put it that way, with people. I learned a lot from people like Jeremy. I worked with GB. I worked with Ladi and Jide. So I built businesses. My second phase, I thought I could outsource execution and be a big boy. So I started writing checks, and man, founder showed me shaggy. They showed me shaggy, right? And I was like, well, 3 things, right? First of all, the problems I'm trying to solve are too important for a bunch of founders who just want to ride a big car and jackbar for me to entrust them with my vision. Yeah. Do you understand what I'm saying? For what society looks like. So I'm not interested in doing that anymore, subsidizing that lifestyle. 2, I can do it better than them. I actually built before. So it's not like, and sometimes, I think founders get into this mindset that like, they're the only ones who can build. And if investors don't back them, then it means that nothing will get built. And it's a lie. Like some of us, maybe not all investors can say this, but some of us investors can actually build stuff. Yeah. And we have built stuff before. Yeah. And then the last thing, in my view, right, is like the execution risk of building in Africa is unnatural. An investor really, and I've struggled with this for a long time because my view used to be that, look, an investor should be able to help build. But my point is, if you can help build, why don't you just build? If you're an investor, you're trusting somebody else's execution, which is kind of the answer to your question. Now, I ask myself, building the biggest refinery in the world, does it really matter to me? No. Look, I'm not saying I respect Alaji to the utmost, and I'm a fan. I've been to that refinery 3-4 times. I'm like such a big fan. But it's not the most important thing to me as Iyinoluwa Aboyeji. That's not what I was on earth to do, to build refineries, right? That's Alaji's, you understand? That's Alaji's, mission. And that's vision, industrializing Africa. I don't really care about that, right? Elon is taking Africa. Do I really care about Mars? I don't care. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I think for me, where I'm getting to in my life is like, I'm not investing if it's not directly related to what I care about. Yeah. And for me, what do I care about? I just want to make sure that every African can get a job that pays them $10,000 a year. It's not difficult. That's all. Every young African can get a job that pays at least $10,000 a year. Period. That's it.
But wouldn't you say, using the analysis, right? Yeah. Maybe an Elon or even an Aji said, why would I go and invest in somebody else when I'm the one in the field building? I
don't think that's the mindset they have, because that's not the mindset I have. So the mindset they have probably is like, this guy is doing something interesting. Yeah. I really like him. But what I'm trying to do is more important.
Yeah.
That's all. So I don't even think it's like they look at it and they're like, oh, I don't want to invest in my friend's business.
Yeah.
I'm sure he could probably like maybe help somebody and give, but he's just like, man, I need to put all my concentration, attention, vision, focus on this. And if something doesn't directly serve this purpose, it's not the most important thing for me to focus on.
But just so that we don't get away from this question.
Yes.
Now let's separate it from the Alhaji and Elon. Capital markets do matter, right? Like you need to be able to actually raise from the public. So I think the question then is for the investor who's lazy, like you said, who's like, but I still want to be able to deploy cash. What is the mindset that they should have when it's coming to either if it's angel investing or you're choosing to invest in an IPO, all these, what are you supposed to be looking for?
Okay, look, my view is, and this my, again, radical view, might be privileged talking, but my view is invest in what matters to you. And I think that's the lesson Black people have to learn. Like, I feel like the rest of the world, beyond all the theatrics, like Elon wants to, Africa is here. We have energy resources. He can do everything he wants to do here. We need internet. He's only willing to sell it to us from Mars. You understand what I'm saying? Like, my point is, what matters to him is building a new civilization. I'm sure they will not allow us there. I'm sure they will allow us there. I'm just telling you in advance that if you're thinking that you're going to be on that plane, how many people were on this maiden mission to Mars? We're not there. So if you are the one thinking that you're going to be there, well, sorry, the guy is building for his own world view. I'm not saying more than that.
And the Martians there too.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, where Martians can be code for other things.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. But it's not building for you.
Yeah.
So if you're a Black person and you're investing in SpaceX, you have to ask yourself, right? Like, how does this align with the things that matter most to me? Now, where I would now say, if I'm investing in Alhaji, I'm like, Alhaji is a symbol of African industrialization and can-do spirit. I will probably buy one share when it goes public. I'm not looking at it as a wealth creator for me.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? But I'm like, I'll put the share certificate on my wall and remind myself that if Alhaji did it, it's not impossible for me to do the same. It makes sense from that perspective. But I feel like we're the easiest to get carried away by all these get-rich-quick schemes. And then they always dump on us. Right? After we use culture to ship it, we did all this work for crypto. End of the day, now Donald Trump make money. So, well, what's the point?
And Nigerians, we were number one in crypto.
Now when we carried, there was even about their app, their silly app, those Andreessen people's app.
Which one? Andreessen's A16Z?
No,
Clubhouse.
We carried it in on our head. They didn't allow us to invest. End of the day. Do you understand what I'm saying?
It was a good thing we were blocked
even the Twitter said, Twitter now, carry out for head.
Look at
you see,
You're right. We
just love to invest in other people. for once in our lives, right? Like, and that's why this fight that we're like, just like forget. And for me, the way I think about this stuff is like, look, Africa has been shouting Africa to the world, Africa to the world, Africa to the world. You have people that look like you who are already the world as far as entertainment is concerned. Why would you antagonize them? Why? Is it even strategic for you? Do you understand what I'm saying? Whatever I don't know what he said, I don't watch all this stuff. But I'm like, what was important about what he was saying? That he had to say it in, like, he had to even say it. Like, how and this is something that has kept me now, I mean, this last few years, it's like, this thing I want to do, is it strategic to my goal? Is it going to help somebody get a job that earns $10,000 a year? If it's not, you will notice that I won't say anything. I've not said anything for the last so and so years. But I'm like, it doesn't help me. And it's helped a lot because, we as Black people still have a very high signal to noise ratio.
Yes.
Very high. And we need to lower it. Like, Asians don't discuss everything. Do you understand? Even
you mean noise? Racism, you mean noise to signal ratio, right?
Noise to signal ratio.
Yes.
Yeah. Like my view is like, if you look at a Chinese guy, if you're not talking minerals, you're not talking manufacturing, and you're not talking
rare metals,
all this Iran, wala, they didn't answer anybody. Jewelry bombing, that's your business. As far as they're concerned, they're very focused. And I feel like if only Africans could be focused. You understand? Leave all this social issue. Just like, okay, you are at the bottom of the
Pyramid.
totem pole in terms of the world. It's after everybody. You even below some animals. See, that's the truth. That's the truth of where we are today.
As a power block.
As a power block, we have no power.
Yeah.
What are we going to do, all of us, to make sure that we go up in this totem pole and stop talking? Forget anything else. If it's not going to help us to be higher in that power block, it's not a priority. Yeah. Our politicians, not a priority. They can be as messed up as they want to be. They should just leave us alone. You know, if we're not talking soft power helps us to move up in the totem block. Yeah. Okay, how do we own more of it? That's a conversation to be had. Industrialization, we can produce more for our people for cheaper instead of importing everything. That helps us, you know. Investment allows us to build infrastructure, allows us to continue to compound wealth and keep it within us. That's a conversation to be had. Anything else, morals, all this stuff, God bless them. Why? Don't get me wrong, right? These things are important, but why are those the priority conversation?
Yeah.
You're just talking about
that's literally what this thing you just said.
They were trying to drag my boy.
Me, and I said to them
drag
that me, you know,
me, I've graduated from Twitter.
I told him.
I said,
leave those Twitter people, leave them. Leave. Literally, if you go to Chika's profile, it's repost. All I do is I search what they're saying about Afropolitan. I just repost it. I have nothing to say on Twitter.
So are you the one doing it to
No, Chika's built agents. No, but what you just said, I said it word for word, right? Yeah. And I was like, this is literally what I believe. Yeah. We're at the bottom of the totem pole. Yeah. We don't have power.
Yeah.
Our focus, and I literally used China as an example. I was like, look at what they did. They said 40 years ago, this is where we're at. This is where we want to go. What are we doing to move that needle? And I literally said to them, what we as Black people should be asking ourselves, because the example I gave was, look at how China kept quiet. When America gave them the tariffs, they said, no problem. Here's our own tariff back for rare metals. Trump took his entire C-suite there to go and beg.
Let's just call it what it was.
Let's call it what it was. And I now said what we as Black people should really be focused on is finding out what are our own rare metals that we can acquire over time, accumulate, silently plan for the future. And if you need to bow, like if they call you a this, like no wala, I know where I'm going. I know when we meet you in front, we'll then see which is which. And this is what I said too. So like I said, very on point. But I wanted to transition to the recent announcement, right? The AFC. And honestly, as somebody who's had a lot of backstory, right? There are a lot of questions I have about this particular moment. I remember back when we were in America, you tried to raise from institutional investors as well.
You were there.
I was there. And they showed you Shege, right? This process of getting an investment from AFC, for folks who don't know, a $15 million investment from the African Finance Corporation. What was that process like, just for people who want to understand the process? But also, when you look back at the Iyin that was trying to raise back in America now, what have you learned through the process of from that time to now, where you're like, do you even think that Iyin then was as ready for institutional investment as the Iyin today?
No, definitely not. And one thing I would say about American capital, I mean, look, one of the beautiful things about America is that it is such a diverse society that you can find your brand everywhere. Yeah. We didn't announce it, but we raised a $20 million fund in between that time and the next time. You see what I mean? Yeah. And we're anchored by American capital. So America is such an incredible land of opportunity that you will find your brand. I have friends across the spectrum that believe in different things, that do different things. And that's the beautiful thing about America. But what I've realized is that you got to be focused on your end game, right? Because the thing about America is that because there's so much money doing so many things, they may not be long-term focused on you. You may just be the flavor of the moment. Yeah. So, I mean, at the time, the conversation made sense and the relationship was there. But I would be foolish to build a multi-fund institutional relationship on the back of those assurances, because things change. Now, there's no more Black Lives Matter money.
Zip.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
No save us. None of that.
So
none of that.
Part of my pain was that we wasted that opportunity because at that time there was a lot of money coming this way because there was a lot of other things that were happening that created that moment. Yeah. Anyway, let bygones be bygones. Now, for me, I'm building with the long term in mind, and I'm saying to myself, how do we over the next 10 years, right, get to $1 trillion in AUM, my foundation has to be rock solid, meaning I have to build with somebody that I know will keep coming back and keep coming back and keep coming back. Now, I think you can look at AFC. AFC has grown over they started in 2008. From 2008 till now, with I think a capital base of less than 3 billion, they've grown to $17 billion, $20 billion, I think, actually now. That's how long. That's what we're talking. We're not even talking 20 years.
Yeah, not yet.
Not up to.
So my mindset is like, if this organization has grown like this, they must teach me something. So for me, the conversation was not even about how much money do you have. If I wanted to raise, I'll raise on like DFI terms, It's, to be honest, more benign and less aggressive. But for me, I'm saying, I'm at the stage in the firm where how do I make this fund the firm? How do I make this the A16Z? Not the A16Z of Africa, but side by side, when people are talking about generational VC firms, they will call A16Z, they will call Local Globe, they will call Sequoia, then they will call us and be like, for Africa, these were the guys that delivered the outcomes. And for me, I look at it, bat on bat. What have they done that I have not done? Even with less. Right? We've built 3 out of the continent's 9 unicorns. Right? From our fund, i.e. first check. Like we literally were the guys who wrote the first check, i.e. when we're on the founding team, either as investors or as team members. So my view is, well, if we focus on this trajectory, we literally have to be in the position to choose who we make money for. And for me, I'd rather make money for my African brothers and sisters because I know that the money will come back. They don't have anywhere they are going. If I make money for a foreign firm and the flavor of the month is India, that's where the money will go. And they'll tell me, sorry, Iyin, you've done very well, but you know what? India is where it's at. China is where it's at. Middle East is where it's at. But you see, as far as Nigeria is concerned, with AFC, I don't have to worry about that. And Africa, not just Nigeria, is here. And the partners were here in Lagos with me. I didn't have to travel. I didn't have to organize a trip.
Visa on arrival.
No visa on arrival. You understand? And the thing is, most of the DFIs just give you mandates. They don't really help you. These guys actually help. Like they will sit down with you and show you, look, this thing will not make money for us. This is how you have to design it so it makes money for us. I've never seen that before.
Wow.
They will say, okay, you need more money. Okay, let's go to CBN together. Let's go and see the president together. Which country do you want to go and see the president in? They have all these member states. Let's go. So for me, that's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for fees. I'm not just looking to raise 100 million and, I'm now looking for like, who's my partner
long term
that can actually help me build out the value and get this thing done.
A lot of times you guys ask for introductions to investors. You want to see our investor deck. You want introductions to other people. So we have finally created the room on Patreon. And in this room, it's a members only exclusive place where we show you the behind the scenes. You get to connect with other people. We share our playbooks. We do deep dives into specific industries. Everything for an entrepreneur. It is like your total toolkit in real time.
I always like to say this is the room where the most ambitious people in the diaspora find each other, right? Like, again, sometimes it feels lonely building. Sometimes it feels like you're the only one in your circle who might understand what you really want to achieve. In this room, you will not feel alone. So again, join us on Afropolitan Patreon, right? Patreon.com/Afropolitan podcast. All right, guys, let's pay some bills.
Eche, I want you to tell people what you're currently using because we always have to get Naira. So what app do you like?
So now I use Zobo Money. Zobo Money, you can get the highest rates pretty fast, right? People get your money straight. No, voila, no, the bank has failed or the bank is waiting. And I really like it. And it's not just because they're sponsoring the show. I actually use it, right? So if you're somebody who's in the diaspora, you're looking to send money back home to places like Nigeria, Cameroon, Ghana, etc., you're able to use Zobo Money to send money back home. And because they're such lovely people, they've given us a promo code with Afropolitan for you to be able to use to send money back home.
Download it on your Apple and Google app today. But then the question now is, with everything you're seeing, what is the actual next $100 million exit? Like what does that look like for us as Africans?
Look, for me, it's going hard against what. So I think, okay, let me lay it out.
Okay.
There are two visions of the world of AI. There's no question that it's going to be an AI opportunity.
Yeah.
But there are two visions of the world of AI. There is generative AI and there is assistive AI. Generative AI means machines make stuff. Assistive AI means machines help human beings make stuff.
Yeah.
Elon has $75 billion to build generative AI. Mangoes, I think that's what they're calling them now.
Yeah.
They've got trillions of dollars to build AI. Thumbs up. All good. My job is to make sure the economics are so deflationary with human AI that you get better quality for cheaper using human AI. And to basically disrupt Silicon Valley with AI, human AI, where 20 years from now, any quality product you see will be made by human beings working with machines. And that was the original vision. There's a paper that when I was working as an intern for Joe Lonsdale, he used to give us this reading list. And one of the books that papers that left an impression on me was a paper called, this was in 2012, a paper called Man-Machine Symbiosis by a guy called J.R. Licklider. And he predicted AI from 1970s.
Wow.
And I encourage everybody to go and read that paper. The vision of AI being sold now is very different from that vision. So my job is, like, in my firm, I'm making everybody read it. Read Man-Machine Symbiosis, because that's where we're going. How do we make young Africans humanoids? Human beings with robot capabilities. Because if you've got, 300 million humanoids, there's no amount of money Mango can raise.
Yeah.
Like, literally, everybody who's invested in generative AI needs to regret it in 20 years if I'm successful. Be like, oh shit, we should have just gone to Africa. Because right now, if you think about how this evolved in the manufacturing space, right? Back in the day, remember, there was an active competition between the Germans and the Chinese. And the Chinese were like, you know what? We might not need to get all the high-end machines, super complicated moving parts, do all the deep research on Let them be doing their thing, right? We will be doing our thing. We'll use our people, even though they've lost that vision now, which I think is a mistake, but it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
And let us use our people to build massive industrial scale, right? And compete with Germany. Who won?
China.
Because it did it at a lower cost, but higher quality,
Yeah.
right? Remember, when I say quality, cost is relative to quality. Europe, which started out with handcrafts and all that stuff, they turned that to a luxury product.
Yeah. And even that too is still China.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's still
goes route to China.
So I'm like, if we can do the same thing for knowledge work, where from day one, every child in Africa is a humanoid.
Yeah.
They are half human, half robots. You create 300 million of them. It's basically like the revenge of slavery.
Reparations.
Do you understand what I say? Real reparations,
Yeah.
right? Because what just happens is that if you're making anything in the world, you want human input and you want it done efficiently and cost effectively, you're not going to leave it to a machine.
Nope.
You're going to want a human being's touch. And the only humans that know how to make the best product with machines are Africans.
And why do you think that?
Because we have the most people. Look, generative AI is anti-African. Because think about it, whose labor is being excluded?
Us.
Yes.
It's us now.
Yeah.
They will take our raw materials with our labor and turn it into knowledge products without our labor. And then pay us peanuts for the cobalt and for the sand and for the silicon and for the right? And then make all the money on the knowledge products on top. If that knowledge is handed to Africans, over time, we won't need to export anything.
We would compound it.
We'll compound it and sell knowledge products back to them. And we'll do it cheaper because the whole value chain is here.
Yeah.
You know, but to this point you just made, because you're the best person to ask this question to. At the time, Andela's thesis is obviously train young Africans and then be able to export their labor and then for cheaper as well. Now, and I think I said this on another podcast, the world doesn't wait for us to catch up, right? So in a world now where they're saying, look, thank you for the cheap African labor, but now we can do AI labor. That's basically what's happening. What's your thesis now around that? How has that evolved?
Well, look, it's clear. We mine the raw materials that are used to make these GPUs and provide the energy, right? The batteries and all that. It's we that train the data. Scale AI in Kenya.
Yeah.
We train the data. This AI thing is us.
Yeah.
Even today, when you really talk about reinforced learning, human feedback, it's African talent that's training this thing.
Yeah.
Because our data is the cheapest in the world.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? So it's your labor. The problem is that they're excluding you from the upside.
The value.
You understand what I'm saying? So my view is, unless we get the knowledge first, and then we decide we're going to use the knowledge. And the beautiful thing about this stuff is that in the ambition for scale, they've actually created a diffusion of technology that means that we can do both. We can, just like China did, temporarily service the world and build our own. We can farm for the world and farm for ourselves. These dichotomies are no longer necessary or relevant, right? You can do both. So the dichotomy of, can Andela service the foreign market and then still build a local market at home? A talent nation, which is our Andela 2.0, we're not asking ourselves those questions, right? We're saying we're going to do both. We're going to, if foreign companies come and they want talent, we'll give them. We'll learn something from them. But we're also supporting companies at home to build with the knowledge that we have.
Which is what China did.
But I think now my next question is, so for someone who's watching this, how do you think they can create wealth creation for themselves? Because some people may hear this and say, I don't even know where to begin. Like, do you think there's going to be multiple companies like this, like you're saying? Because you're saying 300 million. Is it only you that's going to have the 300 billion?
No.
Or you think it has to be multiple people that have to do it?
Look, my view is to empower the individual. Like I said, my vision is to make sure everybody can earn. I didn't say you must get a job to earn it. If you hear, I didn't say you must have a job that pays you. I said everybody on the continent should be able to, without a lot of effort, earn $10,000 a year. That's it. Everybody on the continent should be able to earn $10,000 a year.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
When you close this last raise, I think when they talked to you about it, you called it a sovereignty moment.
Yes.
What exactly are we having sovereignty from?
Where the sovereignty is over, it's actually, first of all, a mindset. Because there's nothing that we're doing now that we couldn't have done 10 years ago. That's the honest truth. We hadn't yet elevated to the level of enlightenment that would have allowed us
consciousness.
We hadn't got into that consciousness. And now we've tried the Silicon Valley assisted route, and they've clearly rejected the rest of the world, particularly us, as far as I'm concerned. We don't have any choice but to be sovereign, right? When the Valley left the markets, because that's really what happened, right?
Just for
came
context
here,
for our
inflated
viewers,
prices.
the fundraising market basically collapsed 87%. Yeah.
When the Valley left the market, we had two options. One option was we could sit down and mourn and look around and be like, we can't build an industry. That has been done before, because it's not the first time the Valley has come.
Yeah.
Right? There was a time in the past when the Valley did come. And what we did was we basically said, they've left, so we're just going to do normal business. Right? This time, we're saying, we're not going to wait. We're going to keep building. It might be slower. It might be more painful, but we're going to keep building value. Eventually, when you see value, you will come back and we will engage on our own terms. So that is the sovereignty moment. The sovereignty moment is, for the first time, we have capital that would allow us to build on our own terms. And the conversations we're having are radical. I mean, for the first time, so when we raised capital before, we had to do a US Delaware fund. This time, we're having a serious conversation about, should we actually do this fund in Delaware? Or should we create our own jurisdiction to do this fund?
Wow.
That was not a conversation we could have had 10 years ago. And it wasn't because it wasn't possible to have that conversation 10 years ago. It was because we just, didn't know that was important. Now we do. Because the question is, if you incorporate a fund in Delaware and a Chinese company wants to invest, how would that work? Meanwhile, with the Clarity Act, it's now possible for you to get US investors into your fund anywhere else in the world and give them the transparency they need. So why do you really need to incorporate in Delaware and pay 30% withholding tax and be subject to Trump's whim? You don't need that.
But the other layer that I think we were kind of dancing around. So everyone keeps talking about data. We need data centers. Do you also think Africa is going to be the place where those data centers are being held?
Look, it's a very nuanced conversation. What is a data center? It's a building with energy. That's it. Nobody is as gas rich as Nigeria. Nobody. Untapped gas reserves? Nobody. The cheapest data centers in the world will be built here simply because the power is just so plentiful and cheap.
Yeah.
And there isn't that much use, it's not like a lot of small scale manufacturing is happening even with solar. I mean, you have one continent with all forms of energy: geothermal, hydro, gas, solar.
We're very resource rich.
Petrol, that's what you want to use, diesel. So it's almost like a non-starter conversation that if we're talking about energy wars, at the end of the day, when all is said and done, Africa will end up winning the energy war when all is said and done. And you're already seeing the cost of infrastructure for data centers creep up on, these are big players, right? I'm sure you're seeing what's happening with Stargate. The energy costs have tripled. They can never be more competitive than Africa. There's a book by somebody I really, really admire. His name is, he was the founder of InstaDeep. I think it's Karim. The name of the book is Leapfrog. I absolutely go and read that book because it lays out the case for how Africa will win in AI infrastructure eventually.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Specifically on AI infrastructure.
Specifically AI. It just talks about AI and AI infrastructure.
We'll put in the link.
Africa will win. And the reason why Africa will win is because it's energy rich. It has humans, so it can do assistive AI cheaper. Do you understand? Than anywhere else in the world, because the cost of labor will be too expensive in other parts of the world to even use the AI. When you're talking about token maxing and the price of tokens, what are you really paying for? Those $100 million engineers, somebody must pay for them and you are the one. Meanwhile, if I train the same quality of engineer in Nigeria and the guy wants to earn 30K and he's going to live comfortably on 30K a year, guess what? Guess whose model? Nobody cares about the latest model.
Yeah.
You just need something that works for their business.
Which is basically what Silicon Valley is finding out right now, right? Like when the CTO of Uber comes out and says, we just spent 3 months, our yearly budget on tokens in 3 months. It's like, this is not longer a sustainable form. So what does this look like?
It's collapse. This is literally, and Africa has that opportunity now if we build for the moment. That's the problem. The problem is we keep asking ourselves, we keep limiting our thinking. Right? To what happens if we fail? What happens if we fail? No. We don't need sovereignty for sovereignty's sake. We need sovereignty to take over the world. We have the cheapest cost of infrastructure because we have the cheapest cost of energy, the cheapest cost of talent, right?
Yeah.
And then data. The only data that has not really been captured, despite the fact that all the other data was cleaned here, is Africa's. Right? So we have the cheapest data. So, how are you gonna how will you compete? Long term, how will you compete? The only thing they have is capital. But capital cannot buy everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Capital certainly doesn't buy you an advantage when it comes to AI. It doesn't.
It's true.
And I think everybody's finding that out the hard way.
Yeah, it's true. But I think despite this, is it that they know it and it's because we don't know it that that's what they're taking advantage of? Or you feel like eventually...
I think at the highest levels, they must not acknowledge it. Because if they acknowledge it, then there's no point of what they're doing. Why are you going to Mars when you can get cheaper gas in Nigeria? But they know they can't. Like, can you imagine Elon Musk saying, I'm going to build Stargates in
Africa?
No, now.
That 1 trillion will be like 1 million.
Do you understand what I'm saying? They won't even be able to raise money on the market. Certain people who need to believe certain things will not believe them. Like, I always say that Talent Nation is $1 trillion company. Everybody looks at me like I'm mad. But I'm like, we're building $1 trillion company. When I talk to my team, I'm like, because what we're doing now, Future is evolving from just investing. Like I said, we outsourced execution for a long time and it didn't pay us. Now we're bringing it back home. And we're building across 5 areas, right? We're building across talent. We're building across infrastructure. So we're doing all these data centers, although we think connectivity is the first barrier to cross. So we're really big on connectivity, then data centers, then energy, right? Even with data centers, energy and compute is really all that a data center is.
Yeah.
Plugged in by connectivity.
Yeah.
So our job is just, how do we actually start producing compute in Nigeria? That's my view. Then we're thinking about assets, productive assets, laptops, phones, cars, right? So that people can move around, buses, because these are the things that make an economy move. Things that move data, things that move goods and services, things that move people, right? Then obviously we're still going to own our payment rails because we have to. Yeah, that's how we capture value. And then most importantly, we have our own special jurisdiction because this Royal Niger Company inheritance that we received from these British people, they work. So we have to invent our own digital first governance model that is actually accommodating of what we do. So we are building across all 5. And our view is we're going to build the marquee companies in each of these spaces. And we're not building for exit. We're building to acquire other companies we invest in or that are complementary to us.
This is such a powerful insight because you see it online when they say, oh, Elon is saying he's going to build data centers in Mars. And you're saying, okay, cool. Is that because it's going to be cheaper? And that's the argument he's making.
Doesn't matter. But money has a point of view. He can't build it in Nigeria.
Exactly.
He's just telling you.
Lamba wouldn't Lamba if he said he's coming to build it in a Buta Meta.
Well, not just that, but you have to understand. He understands the logic of those people. They'll talk about risk all day long, but there's no real risk. There's no real risk. You can get cheaper energy here, And I'm telling you, we have so much stranded power in Africa. It's unreal. Yeah. Hydropower plants everywhere. Literally, if you go to a hydropower plant in the north, they'll be begging you, just come take the land for free. Just bring the compute.
Yeah, I know in Imo, where I'm from, it's everywhere. We have untapped gas reserves.
Gas reserves everywhere. You can just tap ground.
Yeah, my village.
So what are we talking about?
Yeah, it's true. But then I want to switch because I know a lot of people in culture watch. So where is soft power playing this? Because you also said there's a point of view of that. Yeah,
I mean, look, my view on what is the number one thing in data centers today? Who is the number one consumer?
Social media companies or?
Netflix,
okay.
Yeah. Content,
yeah.
So when everybody's asking, what's going to be in those data centers? We make it every day. We just pay other people to hold it for us. Why can't the world stream all the content we create from Africa? It will be cheaper to upload. This is why we said connectivity is so critical. So that we can actually get content from all over. Yeah. And that's just one area. When we broadcast content, we're not just broadcasting bytes. We're broadcasting our culture, our food, our belief system, our way of life. And if you think about it, Africa has inspired some of the highest grossing content franchises in the world. Lion King.
Yeah. Yeah. They got a play. They got merchandise. They made part
The whole
1, part
world
2,
is
part
just
3, 4.
hip hop.
Wakanda.
Yeah. Wakanda, yeah.
But you know what? We don't own the infrastructure. The problem is when people say we don't own the infrastructure, they're focused on buying their structures. It's not the person that holds the legal documents of Lion King that actually owns Lion King. It's the person who owns the infrastructure from which everybody who needs to watch Lion King must pay.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Who owns those theaters? Who owns, and then if you move from theaters to the Bytes version, who is streaming it?
Even the merchandise.
Merchandise, the IP. Now the IP starts to make sense because you actually have the hard infrastructure to deliver it.
Yeah.
But legal paperwork is not IP, it's not infrastructure. So what we need to be thinking about is a more integrated vision of the creative economy, right? Where we own the hard assets and the soft assets. It's like hardware and software. Can you run Microsoft Word on your brain without the computer? No matter how much you pay for Microsoft Word, it's useless to you now.
It's true.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't run in your brain. You need a computer or a phone at least to type it.
Yeah.
Africa, I feel like creative, and that's why I say the most powerful combination for Africa is when creative and digital come together, because once that happens, done.
Finished.
Game over. Game over. But unfortunately, we've had corruptions of that idea. You understand what I'm saying? So the creative guys are partnering with,
The power of bees.
the power that bees, they're owned by them. You understand what I'm saying? Meanwhile, there's an opportunity, and this is why I think and I say it's like a left brain, right brain kind of issue, right? It pains me that Africans and African Americans and Black people all over the world are not united because they understand something. I think that, my view is that African Americans have incredible creative ability. Incredible.
Yeah, top tier.
Bar
It's
none.
almost like they took the most
Creative people from the continent.
us.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? But you know what? You know who can build? Aliko.
Yeah.
Put Aliko and Jay-Z together.
Finished.
Leave story now.
It's true.
Leave story.
It's true.
Those are the kind of collaborations that everybody would just be like, you know what? Thanks, guys. Let's have a conversation, because at this point, you can't be controlling Super Bowl and controlling oil industry. So we
Yeah.
need to
At the same
figure out
time.
what's what.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's true.
And the thing is, to this thing you're saying, I would be shocked if Aliko and Jay-Z have been in the same room more than 5 times.
I don't even think they've ever
They've
been in
ever
the
met.
same room. I mean, who knows, right? Maybe someone will tell us they have. But I don't even think they think in the same universe.
Yeah.
They don't.
Which is kind of painful, right?
Yeah.
Because they should be best friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, because literally it's like what? I mean, at least listed. Now, obviously, there's billionaires are hiding, but listed is like what? Oprah, Jay-Z,
Dangote.
Dangote,
Rabiu. Yeah, it's
Rabiu.
there.
Have they all met, sit down, talked,
Yeah.
figured out
And then
what's
we're not even
what?
talking about the next generation of them.
Yeah.
We're not even talking about the next generation of them.
But you know,
Davido and Jay-Z, have Davido and Jay-Z even met anywhere?
no, I think they might have. They might.
Yeah, but like
Rock
when I
Nation,
mean
yeah.
meet, I mean
Conversations
Jay-Z
on that
says,
level.
you're the younger version of me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna work with you.
Yeah.
The way Warren Buffett worked with me. The way you understand what I'm saying? I'm gonna work with you because I need to take everything I've learned from this guy and
pass it on.
empower you.
Yeah. That's not happening.
To be honest, it's one of the things I'm hopeful that even the podcast that we're doing here helps introduce and put that spark for people to really collaborate. Because again, like you said, it makes no sense that our most powerful representatives are in silos.
Yeah.
Right. And then you have a situation where, and I know this for a fact, where one of the things, and we've talked about this in the past, that I've seen a lot of my African-American brothers and sisters struggle with is the idea of ownership, like pure ownership, not like, oh, okay, cool, they allowed us to have this. Where it's like, no, the man owns a refinery. Like, it's a fact. Like, this is not, he's not talking about, oh, I share. No, the refinery.
He doesn't own shares.
You know what I mean?
It's his own refinery.
So a lot of economic leverage in the US for Black American people is usually cultural leverage. And I think sometimes there's a disconnect where I'm like, boy, if we merge this, your cultural leverage with the actual hard
Let me tell
power
you the
leverage
truth. There are billionaires that
Yeah.
are quiet in
Yeah.
America who own stuff. I'll tell you for free. Like many people may never have heard of David Stewart.
Yeah.
My mentor, Nicholas Brathwaite.
Yeah.
These guys own real stuff. They're billionaires, quiet. They own proper stuff. But the problem is always, when, like, okay, let's use Ogunlesi, for example. He owns stuff.
Yeah, he does. Airport.
He actually controls airports. But the problem is that when they're thinking of extending their leverage, who's on their wavelength? Do you understand? And I feel like it's very, the other side's view, divide and rule is the way they work, right? So what they do is they drive a wedge. Do you understand? Where they're like, oh, what matters is that creative control, creative leverage, and people don't think end to end about the value chain.
Yeah.
Dangote funded Africa Center in
New York.
Literally, like, that thing should have had every African Americans in that structure.
Yeah.
Basically saying, this is what we did. Every year we come out to New York and have a big party as the as Africans at UNGA.
Yeah.
Even though the UN is a shell of itself, we still do it with Gabi, with all this stuff.
Yeah.
How many African Americans come to that?
Yeah, they do.
Do you understand what I'm saying? When the Black Economic Summit, which happens in Martha's Vineyard as well, I know the first time I had to work with Akuna and sponsor and I don't like being on the camera, so I don't show up. But the point is, getting our people to talk.
Yeah, connect.
How many people come here? They always, there's so much. I actually find it funny. I receive more Jewish people, more Europeans, white Europeans, more, like, I receive more of them here in Nigeria than I do Indians, Lebanese, than I do African Americans.
Yeah.
So you know what's crazy? I'll never, when we were fundraising, if you know how much I was begging for one Black American to put their money, like one.
Yeah,
like,
but
find.
to be fair to them, the first thing you go to them, it cannot be an ask. Because a view is like, dude, like.
It's true. It's true.
It can't be the first thing. The first thing should be how many African Americans have been on this show.
Yeah.
We've had some.
Like who?
Marlon. We had Marlon. We have Tanika. Who else?
But we got to get. Sorry to problem solving public.
Yeah. No problem.
But we got to get, like, who are their icons? Who are the people they look up to that have experienced? I mean, why can't we get Aisho Speed here?
Exactly.
Well, that's another story.
But you know what happens? I'll tell you what happens. I'll solve the problem for you. Okay. They have white representation.
Yeah.
Right? And the white representation is going to make sure they never come on this show. And the argument will be there's no money there.
Yeah.
Now, with intention, if we build an ecosystem with intention, both sides can see why it's important that you perform in Africa, even if you're not going to make money here.
Yeah.
They're doing the same thing to our artists now, telling our artists, oh, go where there's money. Who makes the money you perform?
Yeah.
Who makes it? It's not you. They give you a contract. They own you. Every year, Burna Boy doesn't present. Now I saw him on stage. I'm like, he's even an African artist. I don't know.
No, but they're also suffering for that right now too. Because it's
lack
collapsed.
of vision, right?
Yeah.
Like, no matter how much, and I love the Caribbeans for this, right? Jamaica, Rasta must perform in Jamaica. Live out.
Yeah.
If you want to watch, come to Jamaica.
Yeah.
But again, the practical bottlenecks, right? How difficult is it to come to Nigeria?
Yeah.
Right? By now, I've said it before on this podcast, and you've heard me say that if I ever become, by mistake, if they make me president, first action, if you're Black, you can enter Nigeria.
Free. Just like they did Ghana. Just allow them.
Once we look at you are Black, just leave it. Just come.
Stop.
Don't even bother with anything else. If you like be illegal, it's okay. You have space.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have space.
Like, just come.
Just come.
Yeah, it's true. Because what pains me is I was there when the former president of Ghana was welcoming Black Americans.
Yeah.
And that's their first thoughts.
Yeah.
Their first thought is, even now, that big
But it's
podcast,
a good thing. We've seen it. But the problem is really that, look, Ghana just didn't have scale.
Yeah.
That's all. It's worked well for them.
Yeah,
it's actually helped the economy bounce back sooner, right?
Yeah.
So we know that it can work here.
Yeah.
Right? So for me, I'm just saying, those are the kind of conversations we need to be driving as a people. Not somebody said something bad about me. I mean, like, at this point, you understand what I'm saying? Even brothers say something bad about somebody else now. Is it every time you say good things about your sister?
It's true.
Even your wife says, even your wife,
it's
even
true.
your husband. You see, every time you say, every now and then,
You forgive.
You just leave it and you say he's such an idiot. Leave him alone, Joe.
Yeah.
So if our partnership cannot go beyond a misunderstanding or the other,
Then it's not a
the
real
other thing that
partnership.
pains me about South Africa, right? Because I'm like, look, South Africans put me on in business. So that's why I can't even, have you ever heard me? I can never slander South Africa. It's not possible. Yeah. You will never hear from my mouth. In fact, they can say your mother is a bastard. I'll just keep quiet. And I'll just be like, bro, you shouldn't have said that too. But I will never slander South Africa because Puleta Okubong, without those guys, I won't be in business.
Yeah.
Those are the guys that put me on when everybody else was saying no. Without MTN, all this stuff we're talking about digital economy, where it will be?
It's true. It's true.
Without DSTV, which star?
Yeah.
Let's be true now. Without multi-choice, which star now? Which
Yeah,
star?
it's true.
Which star? Creative industry, which star?
Yeah. And a lot of people's first stars
Channel
was
O.
DSTV.
Where did it come from? See, whatever we've done for South Africa has done
a lot
for us too. So this thing are just misunderstanding. Let's just align. Okay, come. You were taking the worst of us to South Africa. Please just return them. Let's put them in jail. Very simple. Don't kill anybody. Just be deporting them. Just export them. Tell your policemen to stop being corrupt and collecting money from them. You should just say, you see an illegal Nigerian, send him home. Period. That would have solved the problem.
Yeah.
There's no need to kill anybody.
Yeah. Just export them.
Just send them back to us. We love them.
We know what to do with them. We know what to do with them.
Yeah? Very simple. There's no need to make Nigerians a bad fish. If you see somebody selling drugs in your country, send them home.
Yeah.
Don't even debate. Just send them home.
Yeah.
That's what we should have been saying.
This misunderstanding of violence and killing and all
I
that.
felt so bad. I mean, I was at the MMA fight and I saw like there was a South African there and people were booing. I was like, bro.
It's not necessary.
And we're supposed to come from Algeria. Algeria. Hey.
Algeria is inside there, Shy. The Pan-African
Algeria.
movement. Yeah, it's there.
Sorry.
From
I'm
the
sorry.
Pan-African
I'm sorry.
side, they're there, though.
I don't know, bro.
They're
Arabs make me Arabs relationship with black Africans
is
is not. You need to go to Madagascar to know what I'm talking about.
No, I know what you mean, but the history.
You're even going far. I went to Morocco. Me as a black woman, I cannot enter Morocco by myself.
But you people are very brave because me said. Let me tell you something. Every time I get invites from Tunisia, Egypt, I'm like,
Egypt is interesting. So Egypt is interesting. Cairo is somehow. Once you leave Cairo, it's like normal. I don't know how to explain it. It's like you have to.
I don't want to know.
You have to get through Cairo.
The only way I'm going to some countries is if they give me like they're like presidential welcome, escorts, roll out the carpet. Like when I go to Dubai or Qatar, it's the only way I go. If I'm not being invited by the sheikh, nah, not doing it.
Yeah.
Riyadh, never.
Yeah.
But I don't go to some countries without royal welcome. Not doing it. Not doing it.
But
the only time I went to Morocco, I had royal welcome. I don't do anything without royal welcome.
Yeah.
In some countries.
Yeah,
I just know that this is the only way to protect myself as a black man.
Yeah. It's true because every time I've gone to Morocco, it was literally the government. They brought me. They were at the
it's not a tourist site.
They escorted me. They took me black card to.
That's what I'm saying now. It's a battleground.
It's true.
But what I'm more speaking to though, just so that we know this, is similar to how we said there's a disconnect between African Americans and us. Is there's also a disconnect between the North Africans and us, which is if you go back to independence. All these independence movements, one of the first ones started from Algeria. So a lot of the freedom fighters for a lot of the black countries, they would actually hide and were safe in Algeria. So this is history that has now been dismantled through time. Even like them Sadat or from Egypt, these were the first. All them Pan-Africans and Nkrumah, all of them were all friends back then. So it's one of those things that I feel like we've lost to the sands of times. But
it's become Arab now. It's become.
That's what I'm saying. They lost.
The freedom
fighter side.
The freedom has disappeared.
Yes, now they lost, and then they brought all these mullahs, and it's different.
I will say that we should still hold out some hope. Is all I'm saying. But I wanted to transition to this part of the conversation, E, and you already touched on it a little bit. So African fundraising collapsed 87% last year. European LPs pulled back, DFIs retreated. When you look at the fundraising landscape, right? What were some of the changes? And also, how did Future Africa fare during that time as well?
So I think, I'm going to be very honest, right? We tried to invest through the downturn, mostly more out of conviction than anything else. Not because the signs were palatable or we liked what we're seeing. I feel like, unfortunately, right, we had an exodus of great founders. And as a result, even though we've recorded some fantastic wins, they've not been, this vintage is not going to be great.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Because you were building amidst a lot of noise, right? And I'm actually happy that fundraising fell because it means the market is still rational, right? And I think that's a good thing. My view is, when I think about Future Africa's strategy during that time, we anchored ourselves around this idea that, okay, you know what? We need to invest in founders that are building businesses that are trying to expand the digital economy, right? And I think we came to the conclusion ultimately about two things. One, you cannot expand faster than the base infrastructure that powers you. And I think in the last, say, 10 years, we've tried to do something impossible, which is I would say since 2013 till now, total amount of money invested in technology infrastructure, right, is probably maybe 3 billion, right?
That's crazy.
Amount of money invested in venture, which is supposed to be on top of that, is about 15 billion. So no leg day. So I think we're suffering from that now, right? Because we had all these incredible ambitions for companies, but we didn't really go back and look at
the infrastructure.
Baseline infrastructure.
how is this product going to get to the user when they don't have internet? And that was because we adopted some of the silly mandates from DFIs. Oh, don't invest in infrastructure. I still encounter GPs. I'm like, don't invest in infrastructure. Under your nose, Aradel did venture scale return. And you were there sitting down saying you don't want to invest in energy. Somebody that doesn't have power, how will they turn on their phone? How they want to how will you even cook your food?
Yeah.
Food that you're going to order when the business doesn't have
Power.
Right? When price of food is expensive. How?
Yeah.
Sure, you get what I'm saying? Meanwhile, people like Dangote in that period of time built proper things. Now he's doing venture scale return.
Yeah.
So the concept of venture scale, and I'm saying this even to myself, we twisted it. Venture scale is about the returns. It's not about the thing.
Yeah.
So we should have been more deterministic about what exactly is going to deliver venture scale return, as opposed to hoping that if we invested in Silicon Valley in 2025 and invested in Nigeria the same way, as opposed to investing in Silicon Valley in 1972, where even at that time, venture return meant investing in Rockefeller.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Venture return meant investing in Apple. Can you imagine somebody coming to you and saying, I want to do laptop assembly?
Like hardware.
Do you understand? And you say, oh, that sounds like venture capital. Meanwhile, who has done the venture scale return now?
Yeah.
So we needed to take a first principles approach. So we just and I think for us, every fund is a come to Jesus moment. And I'm fine with it because I'm not investing by rote. I'm looking at the market and investing based on what I see.
Yeah.
And I would say we've learned a lot in the last 6 years, particularly in the last 3 about investing in Nigeria. Now, before you can get me to invest in things that are not tangible, you work harder. Because most of the companies we invested in, what did they use the money to do? They paid themselves a lot of money, which they went to buy tangible things.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Or they went to Jackpot.
Yeah.
Right? Or there's no infrastructure that underpins the volume of capital that has gone into the ecosystem.
And it's so crazy because now that you're saying this clicks with my other theory, which a founder came to us and she was pitching an idea, and I said, cute does not work in Nigeria. We don't need cute. We don't need cute app. We don't need the app that does the thing. We need the infrastructure. If unless the infrastructure is put in place, there's no cute anything. In fact, going back to this leapfrogging thing, we need to build infrastructure and the soft power. That's it. Everything else in between is story. I always joke
that these days I do flesh and blood and principalities and power. I don't have any in between.
So
you're either building infrastructure so that if somebody runs mad, we can just be like, thank you very much. Right? Or we're investing in human beings that will run the infrastructure and assets. Anything else in between? All these marketplace businesses, God bless you.
E-commerce.
It's amazing, But you'll be facing cost pressure on both sides. Infrastructure will be crushing you one side. Talent will be crushing you another side. Inside this negative margin, then you now give it to me and say, this is your equity. I say, what is this?
So, before we started the podcast, you talked about how, this period of time reminds you of 2014, right? Something I wanted to get your thoughts on, and this is going to be helpful for founders who are looking to maybe build a startup and thinking through it now. I came across something that Elon said regarding co-founders. And the reason was they just IPO'd with SpaceX, and I think their co-founders all had like 0.06% equity. And people were like, how can a co-founder have that, right? And I think Elon says this in his biography, which is, he said that one of the co-founders of SpaceX literally asked for 2 years of salary in escrow to start. And so he now said, you cannot ask for 2 years of salary in escrow and consider yourself a co-founder. There's got to be some combination of inspiration, perspiration, and risk. The reason why I wanted to bring this to you is obviously you have advice regarding co-founders, right? What is your philosophy and thesis when it comes for founders who are watching in how to evaluate fellow co-founders, whether it's through skin in the game, how they think through all of that as well?
So, my building alone is almost impossible. So even Elon needs co-founders, right? That's about as factual as it gets. But the challenge, attributing value, is actually, even though it's art, it's also science. And one of the things I've learned the hard way is that when you wrongly attribute value, you think you're being generous, but what you're doing is grounding the wrong incentives into your firm's DNA. And making it unclear where responsibility lies. And what I admire about Elon's approach to this is that he's not mincing words about where responsibility lies. If something is broken, me as the founder will fix it. It's not just a title, it is a responsibility.
The buck stops with me.
Buck stops with me. For me, the way giving a co-founder title is easy. For me, it doesn't bother me. But I've become more pensive, and I like to now call out in a more mature way than I used to before where responsibility lies. Sometimes I would work with founders to build their businesses. And I think at some point they got the idea that I was the founder and they were working for me, but they had more equity than me. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because what you believe is what you do, right? So they'll say, oh, the company is running out of money. And I'm like, the company's running out of money. How far? That's your job. My job is to give you the first check. And if I push and it did not push, can't shut it down now. I can't lick your wounds. Not my problem. And they'll be so shocked and say, you're supposed to support me all the way till I'm like, well,
bye-bye.
This is
that's not the mandate.
That's not the mandate. You see what I mean? But my view is just be clear to everybody about where responsibility is. Just be clear. Now, does that mean that, because I think there are 3 different dimensions of the co-founder equation. There's where responsibility is. It's a separate conversation from roles and who is best attuned to a role. Right? And then there's a separate conversation about the title. In my view, at least, right? The title is an easier conversation to have. Because it's, okay, co-founder, fine. You founded with me. Take your title. You understand? The role means even if somebody is not necessarily going to, the person needs to just be rewarded for the value they're contributing. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not even a question of risk alone. It's a question of also where are they adding real value, right? So if somebody says, oh, I'm not taking salary for 2 years, but they can't bring customers, how does that concern me? It sounds wicked, but it's the fact. Who's bringing in the money? And I've had to have tough conversations with co-founders who are like, oh, I thought my job was just to do the work. I'm like, yeah, but the work is bringing in money.
Yeah.
Period. Sales.
Yeah.
So if Elon is going to go raise money,
Yeah.
so you can do your work, guess what? You guys give him his due.
He put the first 100 million in.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
And you didn't. Instead, you said you need your 2
Salary.
years. Which is why I always say, rather than go and invest in Elon Musk, where you say if you feel be Elon Musk, where are you putting your money? Do you understand what I'm saying? So if someone has risked their capital to do stuff,
Yeah.
you have to give it to them, right? So the role has to be up. So what I even do in my own view is I separate the financial consideration from sweat. Because without the sweat,
Yeah.
do you understand? Then you now talk about responsibility. Even if you're paying money, even if you're doing the work, responsibility-wise, does the buck really stop at your desk? Do you understand? If something goes wrong, who's absorbing loss? If you're not absorbing loss, I'm sorry, but you cannot be taking more than somebody who is going to chop the cane when something goes wrong, and things will go wrong. So it's made me, at first it was an uncomfortable conversation for me to have with people to say, guy, let's dimension this thing properly. You're asking for this and this. They don't go together. It's like wine pairings. You can't ask for some things and some things. So if you're saying you want 2 years of salary, you're not bringing any money, right? And you want 40% of equity. Who is your slave? You understand what I'm saying? You want equal with me, it can't work. So you know what? Let's dimension the three things. Me, I'm bringing my money. I must take my fair share for that. Separate. I'm going to sit down, and if anything goes wrong, it's not my fault. I have to take a separate cut for that. Then I'm going to bring in business. I have to take a separate cut for that. If that does not work for you, all good.
There's no alignments.
Because at the end of the day, you will meet it in front.
Yeah.
When you're doing all the work and somebody else is chopping all the money, you're going to be like, alignments, alignment, or you'll be building resentment in your heart.
Yeah.
That's why you'll not be able to greet the person good morning.
So you've paid full price for everything. You know, some people have tried to erase you. You've been sometimes pushed out, sacrificed. What's the most expensive lesson on that list that someone climbing right now can have for free?
Man. Honestly, trust God. I hate to bring it back down to that thing, but you just have to. It is expensive not to trust God. Because a lot of what I've tried to do that I'm even doing now this is not the first time. You have to consider that everything somebody has tried to do, they could have been doing it earlier, but they just hadn't gotten to the point of like Rema. When I say Rema, I mean like they feel it in their bones that this is what they should be doing. And they've counted the cost, the risk, and they've said, look, I'm going. I feel like a lot of the time for me that I've wasted, and I'm okay with it. I consider it part of my experience. I don't regret anything. Came from needless fear. Because at the end of the day, I did the things that I thought I couldn't do, and nothing happened. So just trust God. Honestly, that's the biggest lesson.
But what would you say that, because the other day I was reflecting, because we had Boris Kodjoe on, and I was reflecting that one of the reasons I enjoy doing this podcast is not just talking about how to be successful. It's now getting to the other side of it, which is when you are successful, what does success cost you? Right? So what advice would you have? Because the reason for that, I remember I like reading Naval's book, and at the end of the thing, he says, when you've finally built wealth, you realize that wasn't what you were chasing in the first place.
Yeah.
But that's a story for another day. This question is centered on that. Like, when you eventually got the things you wanted, what did it actually then cost you?
Well, I mean, I hate to go spiritual, but the truth of the matter is, you only think it costs you something, right? If you don't realize that all of that was God's way of, basically the price had already been paid. You just paid extra. It's like you go to a restaurant, somebody paid the meal. Do you understand what I'm saying? You just decided that you're going to tip a lot. At least that's how the restaurant will accept it. And you tipped more than the meal cost. So did it really cost you?
Yeah.
Or did you just go and do a schedule?
True.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So I don't know that this journey has cost me anything. I do think that there has been a lot of unnecessary sacrifice, right? Just because there were things I thought I needed that I ended up realizing were just extras.
Like what type of things?
Look, I'll give you a practical example. I'm the biggest proponent of saying you need co-founders. I don't have one. Well, at least my co-founder is my wife. Now, does that mean that you don't need co-founders? No. But I need a different kind of co-founder, if you know what I mean. Right? And that was not just my wife. I needed God to work with me on some of these things because they were too big for other human beings to understand. So the courage to go it alone on things was something I always had, but I never took it far enough. I wasn't extremist about, you understand? This is where I'm going. Let me go it alone. All these other things. And then you know what? God in his mercy will give me accoutrement. It'll be like, you know what? Yeah, you know, you can have this co-founder, you can have that co-founder. But now I'm building the same things and I'm not doing it with anybody. Does that mean I don't have partners? Does that mean I don't have co-founders? Maybe, but I'm taking responsibility for delivery of these things. Yeah. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? It's a very different thing, right? Some people would say it as, oh, you can only trust yourself or you can only depend on yourself. But I'm telling you, that's why I said that. My biggest lesson has been trust God. Some of the biggest things I've accomplished that I thought I would need investors to accomplish, that I thought I would need other people to accomplish, I've done it better, cheaper, faster by just trusting God than by working with people. Don't trust human beings. if I want to be more explicit, even when I'm working with a founder, I'm always building fail safes because people change. Yeah. People are so unreliable. God is not. Sorry to go to church on you guys, but I'm telling you, that it sounds like such a simple concept, but I can bet you 10 years from now, that will still be my answer. And I can point to very specific things. People try to do a lot of things in their own flesh and they will run into problems. They must run into problems because they're relying on very unreliable human beings.
So I want to take this another step though, because you talked about, you know, this next stage in your life and what you're building. But what do you say for those who say Africa is too poor for consumers? Are we supposed to be building for outside? Because technically it's part of what you're building is for outside. So should we all be building for outside? Or
well, here's my view, right? Well, look. Okay, you're building for outside. You get paid. Then what do you spend it on?
Inside.
Is it inside or is it outside? Think about it. How many things in your house are not imported?
No, we built this. I could say that.
You built the furniture. Did the cutting come from here?
True.
The refinery.
Did the mic come from here?
True.
No be import, you import them. Talk true. My point is, look, you're going to need some things to come from outside. You're going to need some things to be built inside. Yeah. That's just the reality. Like I used to argue like this, but I've realized it's a silly argument, right? At the end of the day, the price of petrol is a function of crude. Abi, you import the crude and you refine the petrol and your price comes down. That's life. That's just life. Some things will come from, it's trade. Some things come from outside, some things come from inside. You try your best to make sure that as much as possible, the things that are inside are cheap because they are from you.
Yeah.
You understand? But that doesn't mean that you ignore outside. So when people try to make it seem like it's an all or nothing proposition, I'm like, no, it's not. Life is not that hard. It actually is both. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, the culture comes from you, but right now, at least right now, you don't produce chips. So what will you do? You import your chips, right? Put them in your data center. The sand that built the data center is all local. Do you understand what I'm saying? But maybe the turbine that powers it is not.
Yeah.
So just do what makes sense.
I want to talk about Accelerate Africa before we transition to our rapid fire segment. Obviously, you went through YC.
Yeah.
You understand how Y Combinator works as an accelerator. For an Accelerate Africa's perspective, what have been some of the highs? What have been some of the lows? And I guess the question I wanted to ask: how do you still find love for this process? Because you've been doing it. You've been doing this since 2014, 2013. So it's 10 plus years in. Yeah. How do you still like? I watched on YouTube the last demo day.
Yeah,
and I was just like, how does E still find love for this? Because a lot of other founders, this thing has burnt them out. They've been disillusioned, and some of them have left. Right. Yeah. So how do you still find love for this?
Look, man, you need to always come back to your why. If you're doing this thing without a why or with the wrong why, you will be burnt out. You need to find your why and stick to it. Like for me, I found my why. I tried to change it. And I kept getting reminded that, Oga, before you were born, this is not what you're supposed to do. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's pointless for me to try to do anything. I'll be like, how are you still in Nigeria? I can't stand anywhere outside of Nigeria. I can't even stand it. If I do more than 1 month outside Nigeria, I become sick. Visibly. I can't do more than 1 month outside Nigeria. I can't do it. I've tried. You can ask my wife. Tried America, but it didn't work. So now I know my destiny and this country are aligned. So I've just stopped. If you notice, I don't try again. I don't
Dangote.
We're together. Yeah. So I think a lot of people need to find peace in their purpose and just come to a place of rest where they're like, this is what I do. And then it's there you now get better at it. And for me, so long as I'm getting better and better and better, what is there not to love? Right? What else will you love? That's the thing. Who else will you love? Who will you love? Nothing. You understand what I'm saying? I can't do anything else but create value by building companies that change the world. I can't do anything else. I'm useless. I can't come and do podcasts. I can't build refinery. Yeah. So I've accepted my fate. Yeah. And I'm at peace with it.
Yeah.
That is now where you find love, right? Because as the world is changing, you're like, what does that mean for us? And then you're willing to make big, bold bets. But one of the things that I find a lot of our colleagues may not yet figure out is that they're standing on shifting sand, right? You're one Donald Trump edict away from being evicted from the US. Just one. Like one day he wakes up. And what I don't understand is how someone can wake up in that environment and be productive. Like they're heroes, honestly. I just can't. I can't live in a society where I'm so displaced. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and I don't even know.
No belonging.
No control, no belonging, no nothing, no foundation, nothing. I'd rather be in Nigeria. Do you understand? Where I know that, okay, worst comes to worst, I'll just go to my house and drink garri.
There's rice at home.
There's always rice and garri at home. So, and I say this because I feel like there's a lot of our founders that need to hear that, Oga, you're in Babylon. Just come back home. Leave these people with their wahala. Just come home and build. Whatever is wrong with this place, we have the power to fix it. And I think that's the trick that a lot of people have fallen for. This belief that it's easier for them to thrive in an ecosystem they didn't create and have no part in than it is for them to build their own.
Yeah.
And it's a lie. It's just a lie. There's no need to debate it. The reality of the matter is that where Sam Altman, who is your mate, where Elon Musk, who is your mate, where all these other guys that are your mates can go, they will never let you in, even if you were the most qualified person to be there.
It's a fact. Why do you think it takes so long for them to realize this? And do you think it's a function of your privilege too, in the sense of you've been to that mountaintop, you were there in those rooms where I'm the most qualified Black person here, and then they're like, oh, not even qualified period, not even just qualified Black person, and they still didn't let you into the rooms. Do you think it's a function of when you're coming down that mountain and you're telling them, oh God, they know they do that thing for there, people will be like, yo, let me go there and see for myself. Like, what is the disconnect here? Because sometimes I think about it, because obviously we're living in Lagos now.
Yeah.
I came from, you met me in San Francisco.
Welcome
I'm
home.
here in Lagos. And so sometimes when I see founders going, I'm like, is it that maybe they want to go and taste the honey first, and then they will see that it's bitter? Because I'm saying to them that this thing you think you're going there for, I'm somebody who carried this thing on my head. I am in Lagos now. So what is the disconnect?
I personally feel the experience is useful.
Yeah.
Of course.
Right? Like, just go there and
see.
Right? So that it's not that somebody is telling you, you know.
Yeah.
What I think the part where a lot of people need a lot more, how do I put it? Education is this belief that they don't have any other option. Oh boy, the day I left America, right, in July 4th, 2013, I'll never forget. I booked my tickets and I left. And I arrived in Nigeria.
One-way tickets.
Do you understand? Like, it's really that simple. All these gymnastics, all these other things is not necessary. It really is not. I want to get H1B. I want to get this. I want to get that. Okay, they said there's no H1B. Come home. Start building. There's nothing that they have there.
That we don't have here.
That we don't have here.
It's true.
Nothing.
It's true.
Nothing. We even import the rest.
What we don't have, we bring it.
We'll bring it. But my point is, like, the whole idea that you cannot thrive outside of a particular ecosystem is you really, and it's only Black people that believe that.
Yeah, it's self-limiting.
Yeah,
There's nobody, I'm telling you, white guy moves with boldness to Nairobi, believing he should dominate.
Yeah.
The guy has no doubt in his mind.
Even what moved here too.
Even though he doesn't know anybody.
Even what moved here too.
Do you understand? My brother.
Yeah.
Aubrey is my friend.
Yeah, it's Aubrey.
I'm always unnerved. You know, I'm telling you, the day he first met me, so someone introduced us and said, hey, Aubrey's coming to Nigeria. I was like, how old is he again? 7. They said I should help him do something. I was like, are you sure I'm even allowed? Because I need parental consent. But that's the boldness with which these people move.
Yeah.
We need to learn that.
Audacity.
The fact that you with a Nigerian passport think you need permission to succeed in Nigeria is a problem.
Yeah.
For you, for your mind. Do you understand what I'm saying? So with all your degrees, with everything you've learned, with everything you've accomplished, is Nigeria that will now conquer you. Nigeria is not even a sophisticated place like that.
It's very straightforward.
Your 3 calls from the president. I have this theory. Should we test?
It's true. No,
Do you know your governor?
Yes.
1.
Yes.
Do you know your governor?
Yes.
2. I met my governor 4 times.
Yeah. My governor, he dropped me to Imo. He brought me there. So it's
1
done.
call from the president.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that this is the case for everybody, but trust me, if you're abroad, you're 3, at most 3 phone calls from the president of Nigeria if you really need to speak to him about something.
Yeah.
And then there are people like me that will help you for free. I'm not, come. But just come ready to serve. That's all I ask. Don't come with entitlement thinking we're all dumb here. You know, we've never seen anything before. Just come ready to serve, learn the ropes, understand how this place works. So it's not America, and it will never be. If you want America, stay where you are. You understand? But there's nothing you cannot do from here.
Yeah.
And just to add to that point you made, because just want to close, because I said this in the last podcast we did, the H1B, you not being able to get it at the time, then years later they came and gave you O1, right? And I think what I'm trying to say, and I'm trying to say this to the founders, is when you build and you deliver value, they'll come and give you. They'll give it to you.
Look, I'll tell you something. I have a 5-year US visa.
Yeah.
Do you know how I got it? They called. And I know I'm not the only one that has had that experience. I just submitted my passport. I think they did some interview, but like they literally just called and literally next day they're like, hey, your passport is ready. Come and collect. They do it. It happens.
Yeah.
I've gotten Schengen visa in 24 hours. Even me, I didn't believe it. So if you build here, you will attain the level of significance and value.
Yeah.
That means you're more valuable than a H-1B paper or some immigration stuff. So just come home. And I'm telling you, something I want to even say. I don't know when this will be aired, but I'm telling you, anybody that doesn't come home within the next 2 years, I said this 2014. Second term, there's a pattern in Nigeria. Second term presidencies are always extremely prosperous because they're fumbling around in the dark to figure things out is figured out. There are some things they know will work, some things they know will not work. Second term president, if this president comes back again, trust me, the economic boom. And you know how I know it's true? It happened even in Buhari's time. If Buhari, we had one of the biggest booms in the tech industry during Buhari and Emefiele's time.
Yeah, it's true.
If that could happen in Buhari and Emefiele's time, how much more?
Yeah.
And Dangote refinery has put us on the map in a way that even I can't believe. Like every day I get another introduction. Somebody's coming to Nigeria. Can you help this person? Now I have to even be like, stop answering because I'm like, I'm only one man. Please. It has put us on the map in ways you cannot imagine. If you're a young person, there are people rushing into this country. There was one time I was coming on a flight and I think the line for visitors was longer than the Nigerian citizen line.
Wow.
So there are people that are seeing opportunity and coming to Nigeria. You are there fighting Donald Trump. Good luck.
And you know what I always say? I tell people this now because I saw this over 10 years ago when I moved back. Your people that your friends, the people you met, still become governor and they won't be able to answer your call.
I'll answer, Sha.
No, you won't. You will. But there's others that they'll say, but you left America how long? 10,
she's
15
telling
years.
you now ahead of time that when she becomes governor. Don't call me. Don't call me. Afropolitan. Don't form it. Come home now.
Come home now as
we are building together. You have heard.
Let's all build
if
together.
you're not in the gym with
Don't
me.
be coming. Afropolitan is here. Let's meet them there.
She's telling you that. Chika is telling you when she becomes governor of Imo State, don't call her phone. I like that you're being transparent about it so that nobody can say you were not warned. Good, but you know what? I'll answer your call. I won't be governor. I'll just be here in Yaba. I will not disturb anybody. Don't worry. I'll answer your phone call.
Quick break. You know how we're always talking about sending money back home? The diaspora sent home last year $20 billion just in Nigeria alone, right? A lot of that money goes to partying, Ashobi, maybe building a house that you only visit twice a year. Meanwhile, some of us are in Lagos watching Tesla stock go up 15% and not being able to have access to it. I don't think that that's right. And I feel like that's one of the reasons that we've partnered with HISA. With HISA, you can sit on your couch and invest in US stocks, crypto, ETFs in the Kenyan and the Nigerian market, right? And no longer you sitting there and watching other people get rich off investing and you're not able to get access to it because some brokerage firm in the US thinks that your VPN is suspicious activity. They've partnered with Alpaca that allows them to be licensed, legit, and you don't have to trust somebody on a WhatsApp group saying, send me money and I'll invest. Download HISA, use code Afropolitan. Stop letting your money sit there while you argue about Naira on Twitter. All right, back to it. So let's transition to our rapid fire segment. And the first thought that comes to mind, what is one thing Africa needs to stop waiting for the West to validate?
The opportunity here. Like, do not even, like when anybody tells you it's not big enough market, just laugh and move on. Don't even argue. You know, I was reading the book of Nehemiah, right? It's one of my inspirations. And you know, the first thing, when devil knows you're building something important, the first thing he uses to dissuade you is mockery. So when I say we're going to build $1 trillion company from here in Lagos, Nigeria, and I'm glad this is video, this is memento, you can clip it. You own the rights and I'm investor, so it's okay. I say that because I remember when we said we're going to build unicorns from Nigeria, and everybody was like, let's do zebra, let's do cow,
Camel.
let's do
We
goat.
say cow.
And I was like, how is it that Americans can do unicorn and we cannot?
We have to do cow.
Do you understand? I don't understand it.
Yeah.
So I'm not agreeing. So we'll do unicorn. If they are doing unicorn, we'll do unicorn. Now I'm saying that $1 trillion companies are possible to build from here. We just need to get to work.
Yeah.
Period.
In 10 years, if this works, what changes first?
I think the first thing that needs to change is people's willingness to deal with the messiness of solving problems. I feel like, and I always tell people this, the default outcome of any endeavor is failure. Most things fail, not just businesses. Most relationships fail. Most marriages fail,
Yeah.
right? It's like most things actually fail. Anything that succeeds requires a lot of hard work and several tries at it. So if you let something just be in its natural state, it will fail.
Yeah.
So I feel like this expectation that success is assured and starting at that base is kind of a dangerous mentality that a lot of young people have sort of swallowed. And that needs to be unlearned. Like people have to be very comfortable with trying and failing and then trying all over again for us to really see things succeed.
Who do we need to watch?
You mean who do we need to watch try and fail?
No, just in general. Who's someone we need to pay attention to?
Look, I mean, I think, so I started reading biographies of Alhaji Dantata. That's Aliko's grandfather, Al Hassan, I think, Dantata. Al Hassan Dantata was an Almajiri. Do you understand what I'm saying? And he built and 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 built. Alhaji has been in business for the last 50 years. And I know everybody just says, he's a monopolist, is this, is that. And I'm like, okay, is he the only monopolist?
No.
What did the other people do with their monopoly? Let's just lay it out.
Yeah.
Like, what did you do? You were a monopolist too now.
Yeah.
So what did you do with your monopoly? Did you use it well? You understand what I'm saying? So I believe all those stuff is just Western sponsored attacks, and they sell it to our people, particularly educated elites, and they buy it hook, line, and sinker. Building here, anything at scale is hard. I like to look at those who have succeeded here because this is my context. I understand this context. Do you understand? Now, you look at an Alhaji. Do you know Alhaji went into telecoms and didn't succeed? People don't know that part of
There are
it.
a bunch of industries he's gone into that didn't succeed.
You know, he owned a bank and it failed.
Yeah.
So everything.
Do you understand what I'm saying? You don't need to wait for Elon Musk to tell you that, even that one said he was saved by his friends. I'm telling you that these people, you understand what I'm saying? Without the network, as successful as he seems now and invincible, he went into business endeavors that almost ruined him. And he survived.
Will you ever go back to Twitter?
No, so the thing about Twitter is this. I have to be honest with you. The level of noise to signal ratio in my life now is such that I won't find time for it.
Yeah.
That's the problem. I won't be able to find time. I've tried to. There's a lot of education that still needs to be done, but my preference is just to do podcasts. It's 1 hour, 30 minutes. I'm talking to my friends. You're going to ask tough questions. People can make their comments, whatever, and that's okay. And I shove it away. And that's because education is still necessary.
Yeah.
As leaders, we have to educate. But the problem with Twitter, in my view, is that you're throwing pearl before swines. You understand? People do not want to learn. People are looking for an excuse for their failures, right? They want validation for the situation that they're in. They're not looking for inspiration that can help them to do better. And so long as that's the default state on Twitter, you're not going to make any dent. Even because we can't build all these things alone, right? It wasn't one man that built America.
Yeah.
It's men and women, even though they didn't acknowledge them, that built America. So for me, I'm like, there needs to be a space created. And I'm hoping that that's something else that Afropolitan can take on, where people who are serious about building can come together, and because there's just so many jokers around.
Well, what do you think is the disconnect? Because obviously, I already reached the same conclusion that you just reached. But what is the disconnect? Because back in the day, at least even for me, I would have been excited to be in any space, whether it was Clubhouse or if it was in a room where there are other builders in, and you get to even hear the thoughts. It's not to say that you agree with everything that a builder says, but it's almost like there's even like when Tosin from Money Point mentioned the whole thing about talent, right? Yeah. There's no builder, there's nobody who's been in the trenches that doesn't understand what he's talking about. But the immediate reaction is ego, or how dare you, or blah, 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 blah. And it's like, why can't we get to the point where we just say this is a reality of a thing? It doesn't mean that it's going to be a permanent state. But first, to fix it, we need to do an analysis, a diagnosis, say this is where we are today, this is where we're going. Why are we, it feels like we're incapable of having that conversation in a nuanced format.
The truth of the matter is that the generation of people who built Nigeria has passed away. What you have now are influencers. We're a generation of influencers, right? How many people actually know how a house is built? I was having a conversation with my dad. He built his house brick by brick, showing up on the site every day. You're just moving. Do you know what foundation looks like?
Nope.
Do you even know how cement is mixed? Do you know what it takes to make a brick? Do you know? You don't know now. Do you know how many trips of sand?
Yeah.
And how many gravel you need?
From the wheelbarrow to...
do you understand? Yeah. Do you don't know? You don't know what decking is? Do you know? You don't know now. You just buy a house and you enter. Yeah. We're a generation of influencers. So people are trained to perform, not to build.
Yeah.
And you see it seeping into companies, right? Where people want to perform building a company, perform entrepreneurship. Do you understand? People don't understand value. People don't understand building. They don't have the wisdom to build. They don't know things take time. The truth of the matter is, until as a generation, it just takes a few people to just say, guys, I'm tired of performing. And I mean, the only reason why I'm not on Twitter is because it's just a waste of my time. But the honest truth is, it's not that the conversation is the waste of my time, because it's always an important conversation to have as a nation. But today, right, is there anybody under the age of 50 you'll be comfortable being your president?
50.
Under 50.
Yeah.
No one comes to... There's certain people that I would have to have a deeper conversation with.
You do understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's not...
Tinubu, by the age of 35, was presidential candidate material. He financed Nadeko.
Yeah, back then.
So all our generation of people that complain about Tinubu are doing, all we've done is insult him. Same thing with Peter Obi. Built a bank. Who in our generation even owns one? Under the age of 50, who owns a bank that is under the age of 50?
Them Herberts, them
Herbert at 35, they own the bank.
Even the GTB guys too.
Yeah.
They own the bank. It's a significant bank.
And if you even want to go to the government side, in the 30s, they're already carrying guns to do cool.
Do you understand? They're doing cool.
Yeah.
They're doing
cool. They're doing ministers.
Jazz, yeah.
Patrick Utomi.
Yeah.
How old was Uncle Duke?
Yeah, Donald
Duke. So my point is, we're a generation of influencers. We don't know how to build anything. Until all of us sit down at a table and just tell ourselves that truth, that come on, we are just performing artists. All of us are just different. We are different versions of Davido and Wizkid. You know, they're the alphas and then the rest of us. When we just sit down and tell ourselves that, then I hope that it just generates a reflection where people are like, okay, you know what? I'm done performing. Let me go and enter streets
and
build something that I can pass on to my children. What is it your tweet you're going to give your children? Right?
No more NFT.
Do you understand? Is it your tweet? Is it, I had one bank tweet. So I woke up one day with this realization. I was like, I can't waste my time writing, doing Banga Boy, writing Banga tweets. While, you understand,
Going viral.
At 35, my mates were buying banks. What did I buy? Do you understand? They were buying banks that were older than them.
Yeah.
Which person under 50 has actually bought a significant asset in this country that we all know, that didn't inherit it?
Yeah.
Who? So we're a generation of jokers. You just need to tell ourselves the truth first, so that we can now let it sink in. Then we'll now be able to now say, okay, you know what? I think playtime is over. Because at some point, and that's what I hope people recognize, Nigeria's problems become yours.
Regardless,
yeah. They will die. All these Zobas.
No, forget what I mean by
just
that.
even globally.
You don't understand.
Yeah.
No, forget even that sentence is very multifaceted. So I don't think you understand the dimension in which I mean. Today we are blaming leaders, Abi. Tomorrow, when these leaders die, you become the leader. So the problem becomes yours to fix. Do you understand? At one time, Tinubu could sit down and be like, Buhari, or maybe he didn't say Buhari, but maybe Jonathan, or maybe he could say Abdusalam, Abacha is a bad man, But guess what?
Today is him.
Today, he's a bad man. He's a bad man now. He has to be the one. He's in charge.
Yeah.
He cannot blame anybody.
Yeah.
So if your whole life, all you know how to do is complain about how other people are doing it bad, which day will you now build the one that you say is better? Which day? I mean, you just keep complaining and complaining and complaining for the rest of your life. So a lot of us young people need to pull ourselves into rooms and be like, Oga, you are no longer at the place in your life where you could complain about Nigeria's problem over beer and pop bottles and drink your sorrows away. Now it's your problem. What are you going to do about it? Because whatever problems they are leaving for you, they don't care. Even if they care, there's nothing they can do about it, because the day they die is the day they die.
Yeah.
They will leave you with the problem, and it's your job to fix it. So if you don't build the muscle of inheriting the country that has been given to you, your children will just hear you complaining for the rest of your life about how your grandfather did not leave you.
But in general, before we even round up, this point you made, because it's come full circle, a lot of people felt, okay, from a middle class perspective, I think we had Ayobami here, and he says the middle class in Nigeria does not organize as effectively as maybe the lower class and obviously the leaders that we have. And a lot of people have this reaction, like, if the country's not working out, just Japa. But that we've also seen now that Japa is no longer a door that is going to be there forever because of the anti-immigration movement sweeping across the West. So what advice would you have? And I think you already touched on this a little bit anyway. It's, look, this door, this exit that we were all trying to go to, they're now closing it. So it's almost looking like all of us are going to be inside the country together. So what does that now look like?
I don't think it should even be about the exit. Because my view is that shame supposed first catch you. Say you're a citizen of a country and that country cannot do anything. Do you understand? Like, they are kidnapping children and you are sharing passports with the children that are being kidnapped. You supposed, shame they catch me. I don't know about you, but I'm like, how can I be in a country and they picked up some random people picked up children and they're asking for money and we are negotiating with them? You are supposed to be like, no, that's not right. How much money do we need to pay to just eliminate their generation?
Yeah. Even
if they call it genocide, let's just cut them off.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Like, you should be that incensed as a citizen. You understand? That shares a heritage with those people. So I'm only saying this to say that I don't think as young people, we've gotten to the point where anger is a productive emotion for us. We're still at the point of expression.
Yeah.
But we very quickly need to get to the point of introspection, where we're now saying, okay, how do we actually architect a security system that protects Nigerians? Because these old people don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. And build it.
It is at that point we're now ready to take over the mantle of leadership. The soldiers didn't just coup because they wanted to coup, even though some of it was that. They saw themselves as co-builders of a new independent nation. So that was what motivated them to start having these deep philosophical conversations about how do we move this thing forward. Do you understand what I'm saying? And they did a lot of things that were good, and they did a lot of things that were bad. But at the end of the day, they've handed us what they've handed us, and it's not bad.
Yeah.
This country was bought for 70 million pounds. Yeah, so
British.
by the British, that's how much they bought it. Today is 300 billion. You know, try.
It was a nice exit. Several times.
Do you understand? Like, the valuation is not bad. Now, if you look at the ROI. So we now, our work is to take it to $1 trillion.
Yeah.
You understand? So what is our work? Do you understand? Are we thinking about it in that way? What is our plan for $1 trillion? I mean, when you say those things on Twitter, people are like, oh, it's not possible for Nigeria to be $1 trillion. How are you proud opening your mouth to say it's not possible for Nigeria to be $1 trillion and you are a citizen of the country? So what is your use? Why did we count you as a citizen? Why are you here?
Yeah.
Do you understand? You are in a country, the vast majority of kids are not in school. You should be ashamed to even open your mouth and say it. And the ones that are going to school are being kidnapped. You should be coming up with plans by now to say, this is how we secure our borders, this is how we know how,
Yeah.
But that's where we need to go.
But I think, actually, before I ask the last question I always ask is, how many people do you think need to be in that room for it to functional?
It's a coalition of the willing. You see, the problem is this, right? Because we're a performance culture, right? Everybody wants to be in that room, but they may not have anything to bring to it.
Very true.
And most don't.
Do you understand? That's why when we were talking about youth confab, I was just miss me with that bullshit. The young people that want to run Nigeria will not need to be confabbed. Yeah. They will just do it.
They don't need permission.
Do you understand? When people were planning coup, did they need a coup? Do you understand what I'm saying?
A coalition.
They need a coalition. Everybody plans coup as a coalition. Now you put yourself in danger. So my point is, if you believe the country, we have a direction for the country, right? That's my view. Talk to other people that share your vision and build together. Do you understand? It's not about do you understand? Performing. It's not about people in a room. I hate that conversation about being in a room because I know most things don't happen in rooms. All that happens in rooms, people perform for each other. Which significant, when you were starting this company, was it a room? Did we not hike? Was it not hiking?
It was hiking, yes.
Is that hiking we do in a room? Which room? Nothing happens in a room.
Yeah.
It happens because you have a relationship.
Yeah.
So who are you building a relationship with? You guys have built something amazing in media.
Yeah.
Right? And every way we can support you, we're supporting you. You understand? And we'll continue to support you because we know why it's important.
Yeah.
So what are you doing for your friend that's trying to do something that can shift the perspective of the country and the perspective on the country?
Yeah.
That's the work.
Yeah.
Not room. All this room, confab, meeting, this thing is just nonsense.
Yeah.
If you are ready to do the work, okay, you're out of your small resources, put money in somebody that you believe is doing work that matters to you.
Yeah.
It's not about just parakpo, which is what a lot of us young people do.
Okay, well, the last question I ask every single guest on the podcast is, who do you think needs to be on this chair, especially after this conversation?
And actually,
Who do
somebody
we
that you
need?
can help bring to the
Well, I've tried now.
No, you have tried many.
There's one person I would say, I'm very enamored by him because I almost feel like, every time God brings me somebody who is like, well, I'm just like, nobody has ever done this thing before. God, what do you mean? Can it be me? It's like, hey, chill. You're not the only one. There's a guy called Nicholas Brathwaite. People say that I've built unicorns. You need to meet somebody that has actually built a lot of unicorns. In the US, Nicholas Brathwaite is the founding partner of Celesta Capital, but he used to be the CTO of Flextronics. And he took Flextronics from $300 million in revenue to $30 billion. And is the number one by DPI, is the number one deep tech investor in the world. And guess what the shocker is? He's a black guy.
Wow.
Wait, where is he based?
Silicon Valley.
Okay, we're going.
He's a black guy. Trust me, from Grenada. Proper black guy.
Grenada. Ooh, that's a beautiful country.
He's the chancellor of McMaster University. Proper.
Okay.
So when you talk about black people building, I think that's somebody you need to sit down with.
Okay.
And then at some point you need to sit down with Mia Motley because this thing people are doing is not complete. I've told you guys, let's go in August.
Yeah.
Sit down with Mia Motley.
Okay.
In Babe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, you can come Barbados. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right.
Let's go in August.
All
Go
right.
and sit down with Mia Motley because you need to understand So I think what the problem we suffer with in Africa and with Black people is that they are role models, but they are not put in front of us.
Yeah.
The people that are held up as models are who the system prefers to hold up because their preference is that they find models they can control as opposed to you finding true models that are truly independent.
Yeah.
So you've never heard about David Stewart. You've never heard about Nicholas Brathwaite. Many people have never heard about Mia Motley until now. She's been in that country now maybe 12 years.
Yeah.
You know, there are many, many other people. And I always hold that thought. Many Black Americans have never heard about Aliko until now.
Yeah.
Even though he's been the richest Black man in the world for the better part of the last decade.
They still don't know who he is.
They still don't know who he is. So the system actively stops us from looking for each other.
Yeah.
They put the symbols they control in front of us because they're like, this is all you can attain.
Yeah.
Right? This is all you can attain. Don't go past this thing. And who is held up in front of you is so important for your psychology. If I didn't grow up in a country where Aliko existed, I wouldn't be trying to build billion-dollar companies. But my view is, not only have I been in a room with him, I've been there, I've seen it. Before him, late Herbert Wigwe and Uncle Ike. I've seen people build billion-dollar companies like, they're just like breakfast. So I'm just like, yeah, $1 billion, it's done. But I can only imagine what it feels like for a Black person that has never seen people do that at scale before.
Yeah. And all you know is really hip hop.
All you know is, if I want to be a billionaire, I need
sports.
I need to go into entertainment, I need to go into sports.
Yeah. Yeah. And you don't know, and even that, someone has to wield that to you versus you just get up one day and decide to build brick by brick. It's important.
Yeah. So I think we just need to expose people to more of those types of folks.
And we will. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Someone was delivered.
Thank you.